Let's start off with who has had a flush since we've heard from you. Would love to, yeah,
Me.
April? Okay, go for
I
it.
was there and I have to leave at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry. I work on a farm and like every day we have chores and I was like, I need to be part of this today. So, and we just got a dairy cow and I'm so happy I get to milk this cow every day and she just gives me life and gives me raw milk and I'm just like, I'm so elated. So I have to do that at 8 o'clock. But
That's the dream, April. Good job.
I'm living the dream. I just cannot believe my life. Just things are literally flowing and it's just like so good. But yeah, so I haven't been on a call since I really joined like 2 months ago and I was just yeah, I've been dealing with a lot. I've lost like 15 pounds in like 2 months. I was doing gaps, but then I went off of that. My body was telling me just cleanse. So I was just doing like juice fasting and stuff basically for like 2 months. And I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I can't lose any more weight. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next thing. So, and I've just had so much about fear about doing this liver flesh. I don't know, just so much fear. So, and I tried the Epsom salts and I had a bad reaction. I was like, okay, I can't do it. So I was like, okay, I'll do the kidney cleanse tea, first. So I was doing that for like 2 weeks and something like shifted with that. And I feel like because in the Chinese medicine, the kidney is like fear, right?
Hmm.
Holds our fear. So, and I've been living with so much fear and it's just kind of like started to disappear. And I'm like, I don't know if that's related to the tea or whatever, but I've been like drinking that tea hard every day. But then I got this huge rash on my whole left butt cheek and my hand. And I'm like, what is this? Like so itchy. And that's when I texted the group. That's when you said you got to do the liver flesh. And I was like, okay, I finally have to do it. I'm so scared, but we're just going to do it. So I finally did it. And the day of, I just went into it just like with this like piece of like knowing like this is right and this is my time to do it. And yeah, I ended up taking the magnesium citrate in the evening for the 2 doses first because I was still scared of the Epsom salt. And then I drank the grapefruit juice with the olive oil and it tastes and I was worried about that before, but that tasted great. Like I was like, this is delicious after not even eating for a day. So that tasted so good. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I laid down and I put a castor oil pack on my liver. I had peppermint essential oil. I had everything like ready in case of an emergency. But it was slightly painful, my liver, but not painful, just like achy a little bit. And then, yeah, I just fell asleep. No issues. And then in the morning I woke up and I did an enema, a water enema, and I did the Epsom salt. And I had no reaction to the Epsom salt. So yay, next time I'm gonna do Epsom salt. But yeah, so I passed some of the stones, the green stones, and that was great. And I like even like touched it because before I was afraid like, oh, this stone is gonna like block that duct and it's gonna with the pancreas and it's gonna get trapped because it's a hard stone. But it's like, no, it's just like putty. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So that fear went away. And then just seeing these stones actually come out was just like, whoa, so amazing. Like to get that out. And yeah. So, and but okay, and then the liver fluke skins, and I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. But anyway, and then I wanted to ask, um, I have this like, well, this other stuff came out that's like, it looks like, when you have a raw ginger and you like cut it into pieces and it's kind of like stringy and kind of like has those lines in it. I really felt like so much stuff like that came out, and I have no idea what that was. And I'm wondering if anyone has experienced that. So that's my first question. The second question is if I had these liver fluke skins, I know there's more. And should I just continue doing more liver flushings and just let those parasites come out? Or should I incorporate a like parasite herbs in there too? So thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, April. I'm guessing everybody has been enjoying your share as much as me.
Thanks.
So thank you so much. And congratulations and like way to follow directions. Way to follow directions and to be such a beautiful example of like the protocols actually working. Like the fact that the kid, there was a block there with the kidneys and as you moved through that, it opened the door,
Yes.
and in terms of the fear, which is super incredible and really really powerful testimony to that. And then you have this rash come up and I'm like, well, you need to get to the liver now. And it's like instead it's like in a way like your trajectory was perfect. It was a perfect unfolding. Like that's exactly the space that you were then ready for it. And
Thank you.
yeah, I really celebrate you for listening to yourself, and adjusting uh, going with the dietary things that you need to do. Spring, it could have been part of that there was some like purifying, cleansing energy, and then be aware when that's ready to shift. And we need to also nourish and rebuild and not go too far in that losing weight direction, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I actually just put out a video just yesterday, I think, like a short clip, a reel about the difference between the liver stones and the gallstones because people do get really scared that they're these hard, they're the gallstones and we're moving all of those, but really the liver stones are generally quite distinct, they're mostly all just putty, it's just fatty deposits, basically. It takes like a really long time for like one of those to develop in the gallbladder to become a gallstone, to become like a rock, to become a stone. So pretty much what's in the liver is all that soft, gunky stuff. And it's pretty much just like cholesterol, bile pigments, little bits of toxins and pathogens inside there encapsulated. Okay, so for your questions.
Yeah, liver flukes and then the weird stuff I don't know what it was, like ginger, like
Yeah, yeah,
piece.
yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Okay, so the liver flukes, yes, I would say you've literally done one liver flush. You know what I mean? So your priority is to keep liver flushing because
Okay.
the fact that they're already coming out just with that, it's a great sign, and you just want to keep getting through it. The best way, and I've been talking to a lot of people about this lately, is instead of going after the parasites and trying to kill them kind of before their time is up, the best thing we can do is shift the ecosystem so that they are no longer required, right?
Yes. That
Because
makes sense.
because so many people are going after and killing parasites, which not only is most of the herbs partially toxic to us, which means that we're adding a burden of alkaloids to our liver to process, right? And everything else, not to mention the die off and that the liver has to process that, but we're killing off parasites and then they just come back. So
Mm,
because we haven't removed the reason that they're there.
that's
So,
great.
so I would prefer that you just continue cleaning up the junk pile, you know, moving the trash out of there, scraping off your filter, and that's going to be a natural part of the process. If at some point, it hasn't been resolved, but this is further down the line, when you have 12 flushes under your belt, you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
I would say good job, great job on breaking through on your first flush, and now you know it's a piece of cake.
Yay!
Yeah, it's a piece of
Woo!
cake. And the flush drink is delicious, and we get to
So
be,
good.
what's so great is we don't have to go to bed with a totally empty belly. For me, I'm like, oh, good, here's my last meal. It's so awesome. Um, and in terms of so it's a little bit challenging for me to totally know what you're talking about when you describe the sort of ginger stringy fibrous strips or whatever.
Yeah.
Um but to me in terms of what kingdom that belongs to is probably fungal kingdom. And there's a just like all the kingdoms, there's a lot of variability, right? So like we have incredibly different kinds of from very ephemeral to very, very solid types of fungus, that can almost appear like roots of a tree or bark, you know, tough stuff. We don't normally think of that as like yeast. It's like it's light and it's like, it's kind of mucusy or whatever. Well, that's, there's a wide range of the types of fungus that is possible to grow not just in the outside world, but also unfortunately in our internal terrain as well. And some of that is part of the reason why people have a really hard time getting stuff to move out of the liver because it can actually be like networked with almost like roots.
Whoa.
Yeah, of these like kind of different fungal overgrowths. So, if you've ever heard Elizabeth Wells' story, I believe, at a certain point that was sort of the issue for her because it's like it's all so matrixed in there that like nothing is moving. So you probably don't have a problem like that, but I would just say like again, it's good that it's moving. And again, this is just also a guess. I don't know. I haven't examined the pieces that you're talking about, but that would be my best guess.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Well, can't wait to continue hearing and please enjoy your dairy cow for us. That's actually on my like I have I have like an affirmations list and I'm like, and we have a beautiful dairy cow and she loves us and she gives us milk and cream. Is it a Jersey cow?
She's a Jersey Dexter cross.
Cool.
So yeah, right now she's giving a gallon of milk a day. I'm milking her twice a day and trying to build her back up to 2 gallons.
Wow. So amazing.
Ah, so
Yay!
and her name is Eve, and that's the name she came with. So it's just beautiful.
Eve. Yeah, Nikki just said I can't wait to find raw milk. You guys, raw milk is like I can't even explain. I mean, it's such a profound medicine, like not
Mm,
just for the nutrients, but also for the nervous system. Like the soothing of it is really incredible for me.
yeah.
Especially cream. Wow. Yeah, you guys who don't have raw milk, I mean, definitely keep looking because most countries, that I've traveled to, I've even been able to track it down. Yeah, and it's illegal in places, but that doesn't mean that much because you should also consider like for example, Amos Miller's farm does ship dairy, and then they also have drop points. So, and they've been going through some legal issues, but they basically have like trucks that they'll load, and every 2 weeks they bring the truck to different areas. Yeah, yeah. If it's illegal for humans, a lot of times it is still possible to get for pets sometimes. No, this isn't true for all states. But yeah, go to realmilk.com to find out what your state has going on and then maybe look at the neighboring states, because like it's worth it. That's all I'm saying. And that's why I have solar panels on my roof to run my fridge because, my food is so important. Pennsylvania is full of it. That's where Amos Miller farm is. So Miller's Organic Farm. Yeah. And he's like Amish, but was influenced. He was basically, it's a long story, but Agonist, this guy who, is the primal diet person, which some of you might have heard me talk about. He actually enrolled Amos Miller, actually his father, into developing like the highest quality products, which they weren't doing. Amish practices weren't actually like as great as they could be. And so this farm and his partner farms basically, they do amazing things like raising the pigs on whey that is grown. They have A2 herds for the cattle. So which is just like way even better for your body. And you can get raw butter, you can get raw cheeses, you can get raw cream. They've got all of it and a bunch of other products and meats. Um, so yes. Okay. Next, has anybody else have that was amazing. Thank you so much, April. Does anyone else have a flush report that they'd like to come in with?